Korean delegates to Durban, South Africa were credited with several great presentations that sealed the deal for Pyeongchang. Kim Yuna, of course, we all know who she is. Teresa Ra, the communications director. Even the president himself, Im Myung-bak, who many people say gave a great presentation in English. And joining us on the line to talk about all of that success is Mr. Terrence Burns. He is the president of Helios Partners Incorporated, and he worked very hard with all of the principals to polish their presentations and their skills. Mr. Burns, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
My pleasure. Good morning to you.
Now, you mentioned the pressure, obviously, tremendous pressure on all of the presenters. Kim Yuna said that she was overburdened by that. How did she handle it, from your perspective?
Well, she's a pro. I mean, let's be honest. She's one of the most professional and coachable athletes with whom I've ever worked, and I've worked with a lot of them.
Right.
Athletes are good because they're used to coaching,
right,
and they understand if you give them a goal and a series of exercises, they will execute and execute and execute. She had tremendous amount of pressure on her, not just because she was speaking, but because of who she is. So again, I had to figure out a way to just get through her not being yu-naKim, but just being someone named Yuna, and to try to develop a friendship or relationship so we could break down those barriers. I'll tell you one thing about her. She's funny. She's got a great sense of humor. She was tireless, always attentive, always willing to do it one more time.
Well, that's certainly what it takes to be a champion figure skater, doesn't it?
One would think that those skills transfer to giving a speech. So she was great. She can turn it on when she needs to turn it on. She's a pro, absolute pro.
Other than English fluency, what were some of the other stumbling blocks that you dealt with?
I think that we had to overcome some stereotypes and misconceptions that were predicated on the previous two bids that may or may not be fair, but that's the way it is. I was adamant from the beginning that I didn't want eight elderly Korean gentlemen standing on stage in blue suits and giving speeches in Korean. New Horizons was about what I perceived Korea to be today and in the future. I think it's a dynamic place. Seoul is a great city. It's a center for fashion, design, music, art. So when we talk about New Horizons, I wanted to have people on the stage that could at least articulate that, visually and then in speaking. So we had to overcome a little bit of the challenges in the beginning of finding those people. Thank God we had Teresa Ra. I don't know how I can tell you how I can say this. I'd say without Teresa, it would have been a lot harder to win this bid.
You're referring to the communications director, Teresa Ra, Nassim.
Yeah, Teresa. Early on, I realized she was my one ace in the hole in terms of speaking back in the early days, because we just didn't have a lot of really competent English speakers. And we saved Yuna until later in the campaign. We wanted to not bring her out too early. Plus, she was competing and had a lot of things to do. So timing just kind of worked out for us very, very well. But yu-naKim she's an absolute gem. She's a great ambassador for Korea, and she performed like everyone did on that day at that time. I think everyone hit their mark on a scale of 1 to 10. They hit a 10. That doesn't happen often.
Well, hit a 10 and brought home the gold, as they say in Olympic parlance, and definitely we appreciate all the effort that you put in. And, of course, thank you so much for speaking with us this morning.
My pleasure. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and congratulations to everyone in Korea.
Thank you so much.